Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I'm Jason. As always, my co-host, the voice of MMA in Utah, Mr. Zack Partridge.
What up,
dude?
man?
How about the dope intro we got now? Woo!
I like that.
That was freaking cool.
Gives us a minute for some people to log on. You know.
Hey, it only took us a year and a half to get some videos together, but we got it. I feel like we've made it. I feel like we made it.
We've made it.
We have an intro now, so we have officially made it. We're not making any money yet, but
it's coming.
It's coming.
It's so good. We do this for the fans.
Hey, speaking of fans, we just had Blake Foster on, Blue Power Ranger. Fun interview. Should be a fun steel fist fight night on September 18th.
It's gonna be wild. Yeah, I mean I cannot, and Michael Lasky's supposed to come on next week too, but I cannot reiterate this enough. I really just don't know what to expect with that fight.
I don't either.
You have a guy, they're both lifelong martial artists. You have one guy that has 12 amateur fights coming up, multiple weight classes to 205.
Yeah, you missed it because he didn't show up. He no-showed us, Roman.
we have the guy that, everything in the world. And then you have this other guy who's never fought before, fighting a guy that has 12 amateur fights, but he's a lifelong martial artist. It's like, but he's huge. He's way bigger.
He's a big guy. What do you say? 6'2", walks around at 220.
220. I'm just I don't know what to expect. We pick fights all the time, and I'm I tend to favor the guy with the experience, but at the same time, the other guy's so big, and the guy with the experience hasn't fought in over 4 years. I know he had a hand surgery and things like that.
And the guy that hasn't fought before, he's done competitions before. He's done some
grappling.
He's done some grappling tournaments. He did some point stuff early on, but what did he call it? Continual
fighting.
Yeah. So he's got some experience in some stuff, but he doesn't have the experience in the cage. It's what are we going to get here?
I'm sorry. I think all the experience is good too, but there's nothing like being in the cage. Having people cheer for you at a jiu-jitsu competition, stuff like that. It's totally different than
getting locked in the cage.
Yeah. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be, I think it's really interesting. I mean, people could say whatever they want, fight for the Power Rangers. People could say for the nerds with Comic-Con that's there, whatever. And I get that they dig it and stuff, but I just care about the MMA aspect of it. It's a fist fight. I really don't care that they were child actors or Power Rangers or whatever, near as much as I'm just curious to see how the real life fight comes out. And I think it's super fascinating. Like you
said, when we first started, they're martial artists. These guys both have been training since they were kids. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
That picture that we have of meeting Bruce Lee's grandpa or Bruce Lee's training partner, it's freaking Michael Lasky's grandpa.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He takes it by submission. Yeah. Well, what I thought was interesting with that podcast, also, he mentioned that they were talking about doing it at maybe one of those Comic-Con type things, but it wouldn't have been sanctioned, and Mike didn't want to do it. He wanted to do something that was sanctioned. Yeah. Just it's there's a little bit of a build up there. So I'm excited. A little bit of smack talk going back and forth.
It's been respectful.
Yeah, respectful smack talk.
So Jeremy just brought up he thinks by decision or submission. I'd honestly be shocked if it went to a decision.
It's not going to decision. I do not see it going decision.
I have a hard time. Believing that a 4-stripe white belt would last on the ground too long, though, with somebody with Mike's experience. Used to train a lot at the University of Grappling. He does have some submission wins. He's, somebody that's been doing it. Cause that's the thing we always talk about. You can't make up mat time. Right. And Mike has a very good grappling base. I don't know if Blake can overcome that.
Here's the thing that the X factor is Mike's coming up 35 pounds from his normal fight weight to fight this guy.
It's true too, but
how much gas is he going to have in the tank at having to put on that weight? Like there's a lot of.
But again, I think that's where the experience comes in, right? Like he's done it before. Like he knows what to expect. He's been in there before for a 5-round fight. You know, TJ Mitchell, their fight went into the 5th round. Like he has that cage time. He knows what he needs in the gas tank. Like as long as he's preparing the right way, and you can only assume that he is, right? Like I would assume that he doesn't want to come. Neither of them want to come in there and lose.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I don't care who you are. Both of them want to win bad.
Well, they're doing a belt too, right? Like the baddest Power Ranger type belt or something. Is that what they're doing? Did I miss it?
I want the winner.
No, you're not a Power Ranger. You have to be a Power Ranger. You have to be a Power Ranger.
Dang it, Jason. I was the Red Ranger when I was 5 years old for Halloween.
What did Fiji say?
I was the Red Ranger when he wants to be the Black Ranger and he'll come out in a thong.
Thong. You know, I was Michael Jackson when I was a kid for Halloween. And I think I did the blackface. I did the blackface. No. If there's pictures ever surface of that, we might get canceled.
Oh, no.
Dude, I'm like 8 years old in Flint, Michigan. Like, come on.
It's like 40 years ago.
No, yeah, you're exactly. And I'm in Flint, Michigan. Nobody's offended by that. Like,
I'm just saying, I will, you know what? I will have my mom dig up the scrapbooks and we will get the pictures of me as the Red Ranger when I'm like 5-6 years old for Halloween.
Yes.
And then I want to fight for that belt.
See, I'd never gotten the Power Rangers. That wasn't my.
I loved Power Rangers.
It was a little. That's more your era. My era is more like G.I. Joe. Like,
ooh, I like G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I loved G.I. Joe when I was little. Yeah.
Anyways, it's really fun.
Man, it'll be a fun card.
It's like that fight is as interesting to me as a fight as I've been like there's some fights like Fiji's fight versus Fiji versus Ahmad. I'm like, that's a fight. Like I'm pumped. Like I know what I'm getting with that fight. 100%. With these two, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm getting. Like,
yeah,
it could be awesome or it could be lopsided. And
we don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out in a few weeks.
Ugh.
We're going to find out some fights tomorrow night too for the Fierce Fighting Championship.
Oh man. Real quick. What's your sneaky fight of the night?
My fight of the night is, and I think we've said it on here, is maybe this isn't a sneaky one, but Billy Alinka and Sterling Simmons. Let me pull up the card. That fight right there. And another fight that I think is going to be not so sneaky, Joel and Kesley, I think is going to be a very good fight.
So
I mean, the whole card is just, I want to see Warren back in there because I love watching that kid fight. I mean, his submissions are freaking slick, and he's fighting a guy with a ton of experience.
My fight of the night, I think that's going to be a fight of the night, is Joe Haro versus Kesley Collin.
I'm with you.
I think that one could be sit on the edge of your seat because it's going to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
I mean, you're getting two guys that you know are going to bring it. Kesley's coming off of a huge win in LFA a couple weeks ago.
You know,
Joel is Joel. He gets a big win in his first pro debut a couple months ago. And
I mean, Joel for a long time was regarded one of the top amateurs in the state of Utah, pound for pound, you know, and then took some years off and then comes back and right where he left off. Like, it's like, that one to me, it just stacks up. I mean, I am commentating, so I am going to try and keep, some sort of, unbiased there. Cause there are some fighters on this card that, we're a little partial to, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But this one's fun for me too. Cause love Joel and Ryan and Clay has always been good to us. Like, I root for the Collards. Right. So it's
100%.
It's going to be fun. That's for me. That's what makes it the most fun, right? It's like I like both guys a lot.
Yeah, same. Well, I've been training with Joel doing the conditioning stuff, and so I've obviously gotten to know him, and I'm a little partial there, but I love all those guys up there too.
There's other fights where I'm like,
do not come late to this card because that amateur fight we're going to lose the first one that's on there. I don't think. Can we announce it? Can we say it? No, probably not. Anyways,
say it. What are they going to do to me? What are they going to do?
Nothing.
I'll say it.
Nothing.
Austin Strill got COVID,
so that fight's not going to happen. But
And it's legit, confirmed
and
legit. He sent his positive tested.
yes.
So
Andrew Dean and Kai Stewart, the first amateur fight of the night. Don't sleep on
fireworks.
these. That is going to be a damn good fight.
Get your butts in the seat at 7:00, folks.
Yeah. That'll be a good one. Then you got Drew Harbison, Brandon Hansvik coming up next. T-Train always brings it. Jeremiah Young, we had on the podcast. Seems
That's
like
going to be a really interesting fight. That was really interesting for me.
We know what Thomas is going to bring to the table because we've seen him a handful of times. We don't. Jeremiah hasn't been. He's taken like a year and a half or 2 years off, but coming back, trains with Roman Extreme Couture. Big Zack Cavender.
Yeah. See, this, like, obviously, like, we talk about being partial. Like, we love Zack.
He's our boy.
He's our boy. Like, Zack's my boy. Like, I'm all right with him.
Yeah, but Sterling Simmons, Billy Alinka is probably, as far as the 185.
So I'm actually leaning super heavy one way on that.
Can you say? You're gonna talk
I don't know.
it?
Can I? Is that unethical? Would you like me to say? Should I just
no, you can tell me after. Leave it alone. Nah, we don't want to go there.
I think one guy really beats the other guy. Let's just put it that way.
I think so too. I think I know which way you're leaning. Dude, Trevor Bradshaw and Connie. I know Connie
gonna be sick.
I got to know Connie because I trained down there with Mina, and that's where Connie's a coach at. And I haven't seen him fight, but I did hear a little birdie say that he's kind of similar to Trevor, and they like to come out there and just do the thing.
Oh, bro. I mean, Trevor's
never
had a boring fight in his life.
No. And he's training with Clay Collard and Ryan all up there in Kesley. So he's improving.
We talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
He said he didn't feel like he was all there, and he had confided some personal stuff to me. And I know he was going through some really rough personal stuff at that time of that fight. And that's part of the game. He doesn't make excuses, anything, but legitimately had some personal stuff going on that he shared with me. And I empathize with him for that. But I actually thought that he was being a little more patient. He wasn't just biting down on his mouthpiece and just swinging. Yep. Like, it looked like he was trying to maybe like set some things up. And I think even in a loss, you could see that he is growing.
He's good. He is.
And he's just been spending more and more time up there with him. I actually would, I don't know Connie at all. I've never seen him or whatever.
Yeah.
But somebody that hits the way Trevor does, who can close the show with any second, if he starts picking his shots and not like just getting into that brawl, which he said he has engaged in that, he's dangerous. But then you got coconut heads that are Hawaiian.
And you want to know where he's from?
I know
where he's from.
I know.
Hilo, Hawaii.
I know, freaking coconut heads. And I
BJ
say that with
Penn.
all the respect.
BJ Penn.
I say that with all the respect. Dude, I think that one's gonna be. You know what? That one could just. I don't know if it's gonna be fight of the night. I just think somebody's going to sleep in devastating fashion.
We already know what Chris Curtis is going to bring, so we know what we're getting out of that.
I don't know anything about Ty Freeman.
I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think it's going to matter. This doesn't matter. Maybe I'm wrong. Ty, no disrespect.
Hey, he's fought Jason Witt. He's fought UFC level guys.
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
You look at Ty Freeman, for those that think whatever. He lost a unanimous decision to Jason Witt, who's a UFC guy. Now, granted, you ready for this? I think Chris Curtis muffs Jason Witt.
Yeah, he's fought some good guys.
There are guys in the UFC that I would bet a large amount of money that Chris Curtis beats them.
This guy's got some fights. He's fought LFA.
Johnny Parsons. Hello.
Kyle Stewart.
Hello. But guess what? But you know what the common thing is with all three of those guys we just mentioned?
Yeah.
Took L's in all of them. Chris Curtis wins this fight. Sorry.
Yeah. And then what about Steve Seiler, Carson Hardman? Is this kind of the old guard? Is this the passing of could this be the passing of the guard?
It was one.
Could it be
one we were talking, and we like both of these guys too. And there's no bias. I like both of them or whatever and stuff. I just think, this is a fight that Carson needs a win here more than Steve does. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Like, this is a fight that if Carson wants to go where he wants to go, he needs to be able to beat guys like Steve Seiler, who have had 62 professional fights. That is on the downslope of their career. You know, it's definitely not trending upwards. Not to say though that Steve can't get on a run.
Don't sleep.
Don't sleep on him.
Don't sleep.
Like, I mean, I was even had a conversation with one of our coaches. You know, LJ was like, man, that, you know, like that's a tough fight for Carson, like kind of leaning towards Steve. And I'm like, I kind of keep going back and forth. I'm like, I think there's a lot of people that are sleeping on Carson on this too. And it's like, dude, if he lands that right hand flush, like, I don't care who you are, you're going to sleep.
It's, you know, I say changing of the guard. Steve's only 34 years old. He's still,
is he like?
What
is he like? A year and a half older than me?
He literally could still be fighting for another 2 or 3 years, like
at a high level.
But he does have a lot of miles on him, because I remember him fighting way back in the day, and I'm not trying to age myself, but yeah.
Like I was like, when he was on the podcast, I couldn't believe it. He's like, when he talked about, he's like, yeah, I was still in high school when I was starting my professional fight. I'm like, dude, my ego would have been so out of control if I was cage fighting in high school.
Dude,
I would have just walked around in like hallways, just like, you know, like what?
And when you look at Steven, this is no disrespect, you're like looking at him, you're like, I could kick this kid's ass. Like, I remember watching him in the UCTC days, the Ultimate Combat days, watching him fight guys, and it's very unassuming. Just, you know, it just kind of, and dude, he would slap on these triangle chokes, choking people out like that. And it's like, dude, this guy is legit, man.
Well, dude, I mean, if you just need like a little synopsis of who Steve Seiler was, right? Or is, go watch the season of the tough season of the Ultimate Fighter.
14, season 14.
Right? TJ Dillashaw came from that show. Dude, nobody wanted to watch, or nobody wanted to fight who's crazy Brazilian from that? Diego Brandao. Yeah. He was terrifying. Nobody wanted to fight him. And Steve Seiler was like, I'll fight him. Yeah. And everybody's like, dude, he's going to kill you. He's like, he's like, experience-wise and stuff, I probably have the best chance to beat him on my team. And remember, he was the last pick on that show. He was the last pick, and he was still carried that confidence. He's like, I'm probably the toughest person for him to fight. Yeah. And he hung in there. Dude, I have so much respect for people that just carry that confidence in there. And to get on that show, to get into the house, he beat Cole Miller, Micah Miller's little brother.
Choked him out.
Choked him out. And Micah Miller was somebody that was regarded as should have already been in the UFC at that point. They literally fed him to the guy that was supposed to be the front runner to win that show. And he beat him to get into the house. Yeah.
He lost to Diego, but then he beats Josh Clopton, and then he beat Cole Miller after that.
And beat Cole Miller. So it's like, Steve may look unassuming or whatever. And I've had people, and I don't say that they mean it as an insult, because people tell me all the time, like, you don't really look like a fighter. And, I don't know. It's like, I get told I don't look like an insurance agent too, like whatever. I don't know what that means, but what I do know what it means is Steve Seiler always brings it. I mean, you know, what's crazy is we were talking about his fight with Bobby King, and Bobby was just cracking him, and he was like egging it on, like he was going. And then he even said, like, he's just like, yeah, I was just like, you know, wasn't really there. Like, didn't want to be there. Even in the walkout, like even before the fight started, he said he thought, like, should I just tell Court McGee, like, this is it? Like, this is my last fight.
That's what he said.
Yeah. And he's sitting there, and those were his thoughts. But he's at no point did he crumble to anything that, you know, he got caught in an armbar. Yeah. Crazy. Such a good fight.
It's going to be a great card.
What did Jeremy just say? Excited. I missed that.
Oh, he said all of us at One Hit are excited to see you fight, man. Talking to him and Fiji are having a conversation on our podcast.
Jeremy, rumor has it that Fiji's going to be dropping in tonight and tomorrow morning if you want to come get some work with him, because Jeremy's another good sized body.
Big
Fiji to
big body.
Yeah, to bang with. So
should we break down this card tomorrow? He's coming tonight for sure. Yeah. Should we break down this card for tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Since we've been talking for the last 20 minutes about our local fights that we're stoked about. All right. First up tomorrow night, UFC Vegas 35. We have in the bantamweight division, Mana Martinez is fighting Guido Canetti. Mana is 8-2. He stands 5'10", has a 70-inch reach. Canetti is 8-5. He stands 5'6" with a 68-inch reach. I know which way I'm going on this one. I don't know about you.
All in Manny Martinez.
Manny Martinez, all
Or
in
Martinez.
on Manny Martinez.
You know why? There's one piece of information. It's all I needed to hear.
Kennedy is 41 years old.
Oh, that's actually okay. Two pieces of information.
That's all I need to see.
Who is Manny Martinez's main training partner, sir?
Who does he train with?
Adrian Yanez.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That doesn't suck. That doesn't suck.
So he did lose on the Contender Series to Draco Rodriguez, got caught in a triangle.
That's okay.
But they were actually talking about on that show that the UFC was talking about just having him skip that altogether and signing him. The UFC is very high on this kid. Very high on this kid.
I mean, our iron sharpens iron, right? Iron sharpens iron, right? It's not like he's really going to be fighting anybody that has better hands than his training partner.
Yeah.
I put Giannis' boxing up with anybody at 135 right now, and maybe anybody in the UFC.
He looks good. All right, so we're in agreement on that one. Next up, in the featherweight division, Pat Sabatini is fighting Jamal Emmers. Sabatini is 14-3, stands 5'8" with a 70-inch reach. Emmers is 18-5. He stands 5'10" with a 74-inch reach. Huge reach, a 4-inch reach advantage. Which way are you going on this one?
I like Sabatini a lot, but I just think that Emmers has a little bit too much experience for him, and this might be a little bit too much too soon. I really like the fact that Emmers, all this time, traveling around, his losses lately, his last 3 losses are to Thiago Moises in RFA. Doesn't suck, right? Next, Dana White Contender Series loss, Julian Arosa, our boy, Juicy J, who's probably should have been in the UFC already at that point. Did some other work. Get some tough guys. Headlines LFA, wins, and then loses to the headliner tonight, Giga.
Split decision too.
Only a split decision, so he can hang. So I know he can hang. I think Emmers by decision is a really, really good bet in this one.
I'm all in on that with you.
All in.
I'm all in.
What are the odds on that?
That actually is pretty close. Sabatini is a slight underdog. He is coming in. I'm looking at best fight odds. Sabatini's plus 132, minus 156 on Jamal Emmers.
And what was Martinez?
Martinez is minus 280. Comeback is plus 230 for Kennedy.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
I really like Emmers and I really like Martinez.
Yep.
Next up in the women's flyweight division, we have JJ Aldrich against Vanessa Demopolis. Aldrich is 9-4. She stands 5'5" with a 67.5-inch reach. Demopolis is 6-3. She stands a whopping 5'2" tall, and she has a 62-inch reach.
So this is short notice fight, right? JJ Aldrich was supposed to be.
Who's she supposed to fight?
Oh, that's cool. She was supposed to fight Vanessa Demopolis' teammate Tracy Cortez.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Vanessa Demopolis was supposed to fight Caddy Paparaki at LFA. Gets pulled off the LFA card from this weekend. Gets upgraded to the UFC card. Good opportunity for her after losing to Corey McKenna in the Dana White Contender Series. One, Vanessa Demopolis, she's kind of smaller for her weight class anyways. At at 115 pounds. And now she's taking this fight at 125. I know it's like you're playing this risk reward game. I hate this fight for her. JJ Aldrich has been in there with a lot of really, really good girls, and just got a win over Courtney Casey. Had a tough loss against Macy Barber, but was hanging in there in the first round. And some say won the first round. She's been in the cage with Tatiana Suarez, who in my mind is a future UFC champion. Her experience level is just way too high, I think. And she's way bigger. I do not like this fight at all. I think this is like slam dunk lock. I mean, I know it's a minus 400 for a reason because we know it's going to happen.
I'm trying everything I can to look for a way for Demopolis to win this
Me
fight.
too. I did too.
When I watched the weigh-ins and saw how much bigger Aldrich is, and she's strong. She's a strong woman too. I think she's going to be too big for Vanessa. I mean, Vanessa has a pretty good ground game. She submitted that Sam Hughes with that inverted triangle in LFA. Mm-hmm. And she was getting smashed that whole fight. So she's got a good ground game, but I don't think it's going to matter. I don't
at that level. That's where we always talk about it. The higher up in competition you go, the more important the correct weight class is.
Yeah.
This is going to not be in her favor.
Next up, we have Dustin Jacoby and Daryn Stewart. Jacoby is 14-5-1, stands 6'3" with a 78 reach. Daryn Stewart is 12-7. He stands 6 foot tall with a 74-inch reach. These guys are fighting a light heavyweight too. So Stewart is
coming up.
Normally a 185 guy.
Yep. Hate this. Listen to an interview with Daryn Stewart. He said he's over the judges. It feels like he kind of has a chip on his shoulder about some judging in the past, which I get. Judges suck. Not fun. Lost a split decision to Kevin Holland. I mean, he's lost a split decision to Edmund Shabazian. I mean, he's lost some decisions and has some decent wins. Also does have a split decision win over Daryn Wynn, who's 5'4". But at the end of the day, lost twice basically to Eric Anders. I hate when I feel like people are like, I'm sick of cutting weight. I'm just going to fight it by walking around weight. There's there's two sides of that. Are you doing too big of a weight cut? Are you not disciplined in your diet? You know, like, and for me, I feel like that he is not. Daryn Stewart walking around at 6 foot does not carry so much muscle that he should be able to uncomfortably make 185.
Yeah, I agree.
Like this isn't William Knight who looks like the Hulk coming out, right? He's a solid guy, but he's got a good body for 185. And just saying, I don't want to cut the weight anymore. To me, it's kind of like he might already have 1 foot out the door. And Dustin Jacoby is kind of he's a
legit light heavyweight.
His stock is just doing this right now.
Yeah.
And his striking is clean. And I like the win streak that he's on between kickboxing and MMA. He's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fight win streak with a split decision draw over Ion Kotaloba. Dustin Jacoby all day.
I'm in.
Dang it.
Next up, we have Smiling Sam Alvey versus Wellington Thurman. Sam Alvey is 33-15-1. He stands 6'2" with a 75.5-inch reach. Mr. Thurman, the prodigy, is 16-5. He stands 6 foot tall with a 72-inch reach. I think we both already talked about this. I think we're both leaning Smiling Sam Alvey in this one.
I'm not leaning. I'm like already laid over.
Yeah, I like it.
As an underdog and experienced, Sam Alvey he's back down at 185. He's a big 185.
And he looks good. He looks in shape.
He's also on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fight losing streak as well.
I think I'm going to take the plus money. I'm going to take the plus 108 and jump on Sam Alvey on this one.
I am too. And I really like Sam Alvey here for a couple reasons. Like if you go look at the guys that he's losing to, doesn't suck. Like he's losing to tough guys, you know? So, and that was up at 205. He's coming back down to 185. His experience in the UFC, I think, is what wins him this fight, either by submission or I could even see ground and pound. How about that?
I like it. I'm in. Next up in the middleweight division, Abdul Razak Al Hassan against Alessio Di Chirico. Al Hassan is 10-4. He stands 5'10" with a 73-inch reach. Di Chirico is 13-5. He stands 6 foot tall with a 74-inch reach. Judo Thunder against Monzo. Who do you like in this one?
All in on Di Chirico. Like, I think this is like a slam dunk, whatever. Abdul Razak Hassan crapped the bed so bad in his last fight. I mean, so bad.
He lost to Robert Whitaker's trainer.
Yeah, lost to his boy. Gassed out. like was so bad. And
Bruh.
when we both announced it the next Monday on the podcast, he was dead to us. And for that, he is dead to me. DiCirico, like I like him anyways. He looked good in his last fight.
A little favorite heavy.
We are a little favorite heavy.
A little favorite heavy on this card.
It happens. It happens. And sometimes the favorites just win. And I think this is going to be the case Saturday night.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a lot of upsets. Next up in the middleweight division, again, we have GM3 Gerald Meerschaert against Mahmoud Muradov. Meerschaert is 32-14. He stands 6'1" with a 77.5-inch reach. Muradov is 25-6. He stands 6'2" tall with a 75.5-inch reach. You know, everybody listen to our podcast. You know our rules. We're not betting against a guy that's from a place that ends in Stan or the end of his name is Ov. It's just not happening. Do we even have to say our pick?
So don't at me, Jason.
I'm not going to at you. Go right ahead. Make the pick. Go ahead.
Muradov does probably win this fight, and I'm not picking against him. But you can listen to it on this podcast.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening.
I think Gerald Meerschaert does have a chance to pull off an upset in this fight. If I was going to reach on a big dog on this card, if I was going to, which I'm not, I just want to make that clear. I'm not laying it out all on the table because Makov, everything says he should win this fight. But dude, Gerald Meerschaert is.
Oh, he's legit.
His experience level, I think. I mean, he's a slow starter, right? So here's the thing with Gerald Meerschaert that you have to remember: he's a slow starter, but if he does get into his groove, it could create some problems. Well, homeboy Mahmoud Muradov, do you remember that Andrew Sanchez fight? We were really, really worried until he hit that flying knee and knocked him out.
That's true.
Because we had him picked. He's a little bit of a slow starter himself. If it gets into a dogfight, like this is something where I could very, very realistically. I mean, if he comes out and murks him, great. Like just like Chimaev did or whatever against Meerschaert, great, good for him. But if you see like his last finishes, third round finish, decision, second round finish, did get a couple first round finishes in the local scene, but he does have some finishes later in rounds. The longer it goes, the more that Meerschaert has a shot. And Meerschaert, which one thing that's really interesting with him too is that I like, he doesn't go to a decision very often. He either submits people or gets submitted or knocked out. Like he is always going for broke, probably to a fault. He probably leaves himself open to get finished because he's always going for finishes too. Submissions, scrambles, things like that. I'm just saying, I'm not picking it, but I also am not betting Muradov in anything.
I don't hate it. I don't hate that at all. I actually think that was very well put, Mr. Partridge.
Thank you. It's like I've been doing this for a minute.
Yeah, it was good. That was a good breakdown. Made me think a little bit. Next up in the middleweight division, again, we have Andre Petrowski against Michael Gilmore. Petrowski is 5'1". He stands 6 foot tall with a 73-inch reach. Gilmore is the gentleman, 6'3". He stands 5'11" with a 74-inch reach. Who do you like in this one?
Well, not the gentleman. I'll tell you that.
You don't like the gentleman?
Andre Petrowski. Dude, he was a savage on the Ultimate Fighter this season. This is an Ultimate Fighter finale show, and they made the card. Andre Petrowski, from what I've seen, his only losses to the Jeffries, right? And they had
Aaron Jeffries.
Jeffries. Aaron Jeffries should already be in the UFC. And quite frankly, I thought Petrowski already should be in the UFC before the show and without the show. And I think him being put on this card just shows, like, hey, dude, go out, take care of business. They're going to sign him anyways. Like, he's a UFC caliber fighter right now.
He's a heavy favorite.
I don't know if I can say the same about Michael Gilmore, but he's a heavy favorite for a reason. One, elite wrestling. Fantastic wrestling. Lost this fight because he got caught in a choke by who we'll talk about, Gilbert Brian Battle. Petrowski's going to be a fun one to watch. I think he actually has a really good career in the UFC. He's a good
I
fighter.
like it. We're both on Petrowski then. Next up in the welterweight division, we got Kevin Lee, the Motown Phenom, against Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez. Kevin Lee is 18-6. He stands 5'9" with a 77-inch reach. D-Rod 15-2. He stands 6'1" with a 74-inch reach. I'm all in on the Grand Rapids, the Motown Phenom, baby, Michigan. I'm all in on Kevin Lee, man. He looked phenomenal at the weigh-ins.
He looks great at 170.
He looks really good.
The real problem is he's a tweener. He's the perfect tweener.
Yeah.
He's a little on the small side for 170. He's a little bit too big for 155, and that weight cut sucks for him.
Yeah.
But at 150.5, he looks great. And the last time we saw him in the cage against Gregor Gillespie was at 155, and he was the first. He put Gregor's lights out. I mean, that's still a highlight that we see like all the time, like all-time great knockout, right?
Yeah.
Daniel Rodriguez, I would say, does have a considerable advantage on the feet. His boxing it's clean, man.
He's
really, really clean. But we all know when somebody has elite wrestling and they can pull that out. I think Kevin Lee comes out, plays with it on the feet for a little bit, and then as soon as it's not going his way, he takes him down. His wrestling takes over. I have Kevin Lee by submission in this fight.
I love Kevin Lee on this one too. That him, and there's that.
I do not think D-Rod has anything for him on the ground.
Him and Manny Martinez are probably my two favorites on this card.
Like slam dunks. But Kevin Lee, the value, he's only like minus 150, I think, right?
Yeah, 145.
I mean, the value on Kevin Lee is insane because I feel like he should be a minus 200. Here's the other thing. People are so short-sighted, and MMA fans as a whole, and I get that I'm an MMA fan and I understand that, but they're stupid and they're morons. And I keep seeing like stuff like Kevin Lee sucks. He's washed up. Let me just read you his L's in the last 4 years. Okay. Charles Oliveira.
Not a bad loss.
Not a bad loss. He's the champ, right? RDA, former 155 champ. Alaya Quinta, not a great loss. Had an off night. Also challenged for the 155 title. Tony Ferguson, interim champ. That was an interim title fight. You know, like his losses are in the UFC are only to pretty much elite guys.
Yeah.
And I mean, look who he's beat. Gregor Gillespie, undefeated other than him. Edson Barboza, who's headlining the card, choked out Michael Chiesa. Francisco Trinaldo. Rear naked choked Magomed Mustafaev. Hello, he choked out a Magomedov. Guy with the name that he choked him out. Jake Matthews, ground and pound. He doesn't just beat dudes; he finishes them.
I like him. I thought he looked great at the weigh-ins too.
I have Kevin Lee by like first or second round submission. That's how I think he dominates.
I'm all in. All right, next up there's somebody else that thinks he rags Dials D-Rod. Yep. Next up this is the Ultimate Fighter finale, the 135 Ultimate Fighter finale. Ricky Torcios against Brady Highstand. Ricky is 10-2. He stands 5'9" with a 72-inch reach. Highstand is 5'1". He stands 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. Who do you like at this one?
So I don't even know what the odds are on this.
So Ricky is a minus 165. The comeback is plus 135 on Bam Bam.
Okay. Because I was going to say, just from what I watched from the season, Ricky is just the type of dude that's a big enough nerd that you'd be like, what a weirdo. But he's a dude, flat out can fight.
Yeah.
Flat out can fight. And I mean, his last loss was to Manny Martinez.
Yeah.
That was his last loss on Fury FC. And then Dana White Contender Series. Those are his two losses. He's a really good fighter. He's well-rounded. He has good ground game, competent ground game, power in his hands and his feet. I think that Ricky is your 135 tough winner.
Look at Zack with the breakdown, with the knowledge, dropping facts. I'm on Ricky too. I loved what he did on the
Well,
Ultimate Fighter.
I don't know if it's facts. We'll find out if it's facts.
Find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I thought he looked good on the Ultimate Fighter. I love how scrappy he is.
He has like this it factor that I can't like peg, but
Yeah.
like, dude, he scraps.
Yep.
And these like anime nerds, I love all of you because I don't understand that world, but I know it's huge. They all fight, like they can all fight. Like if I see a dude doing the power up stuff or whatever, yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, well,
I'm out.
I'm out. I'm not fighting that person. It's
Cauliflower
terrifying.
ears and power ups. I'm out.
Polynesians, cauliflower ears, and like I have to disagree.
Yeah, it's all good. Hey,
yeah,
maybe I'm wrong.
You. I have to just. Hey, if you're right, dude, you get some plus money on it. Like, go get it, dog.
I'm not betting it. I just like what I've seen from Ricky.
I might sprinkle a little on Ricky. I like Ricky.
Next up in the for the middleweight championship, Brian Battle, Pooh Bear. I might need to change that nickname. Pooh Bear.
Time out.
Come on.
What did you just
Pooh
say?
Bear. His fight name is
hey
Pooh Bear.
This is a family friendly podcast. You can't call anybody Pooh Bear.
Maybe that's his only fans. Maybe that's his only fan.
Hunter and Quinn would be laughing and losing their mind right now, dude.
Yeah.
Pooh Bear. The Bongler bets are already in. I like it.
Bets are already in, Bongler. Let's get it.
Yeah, Fiji. That's why I'd never fight you. Has nothing to do with weight classes. It's because you're an anime nerd and Polynesian.
So the middleweight Ultimate Fighter is this Brian Battle against Gilbert Urbina, which Urbina is replacing. I just lost his name. The kid that had to go out for injury.
Yep.
That I thought was going to win it. Honestly,
that I thought was going to win it too. So,
yeah.
Well, here's the deal. I am going with Urbina. One, because his nickname's not Pooh Bear, and two, his only loss is to Sean Brady on LFA.
I don't hate it.
That's not a bad loss.
I don't hate it. I wasn't that impressed. I mean, look, he lost to the guy that could have been. Why do I not remember his name? I'm gonna have to look at it. Somebody remind me of his name if you're listening. The guy that got pulled. I just wasn't that. I wasn't that impressed with him. He's big. He's long for the division, but he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that it factor to me. He doesn't crack. Like
here's the thing with him though that's really interesting for me is he may not have like that it factor part of it.
Yeah,
but he lasted and went to a unanimous decision and went 5 rounds with Sean Brady, who arm triangle Jake Matthews, guillotine choke Christian Aguilera, decision, unanimous decisions over other guys like Court McGee.
Gore.
That's
how.
Yeah,
Gore.
Yeah,
thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Like he's a finisher. He has some decisions, but mostly Sean Brady's a finisher.
Yeah,
and he couldn't finish Urbina.
You're in.
As an underdog, I'll take the flip on that. Thank you.
All right. Take it. I'm not betting that one. I am betting the main event. I will say I am betting the main event. Featherweight.
As am I, and we are on opposite ends.
Trishawn Gore. Yeah, the Bongler. Thanks, dude. I had a brain fart.
I'm not sure
main
who
event.
The Bongler is, but I like this guy.
Thanks. You're Edson Barboza is fighting Gige Chikadze. Barboza 22-9. He stands 5'11" with a 75-inch reach. Chikadze is 13-2. He stands 6 foot tall with a 74-inch reach. We are on opposite ends of this one. I like Gige on this one. I think he gets it done.
We're gonna find out real quick how legit Gige is, and I think he is legit. I think he is good. I like him. To just body kick and ground and pound out Cub Swanson the way he did was very, very impressive. But I not only am I confident in this, I think you're nuts to bet against Edson Barboza because at 145 he's looked like just.
You have a little recency bias here with what he did with Shane Burgos in the last fight.
Well, he won the fight before that too.
That was screwed.
He got screwed against Dan Ige. He got screwed against Paul Felder. Like his last legit loss was against Justin Gaethje in 2019 at 115. I mean, he's
legit. I know.
You want to talk about recency bias? How's this for recency bias? I believe he should be 3-0 at 145 and undefeated.
Could be. Could very well be.
I mean,
how scary was that knockout with Shane Burgos when he just
Oh, I was worried Shane Burgos had ruptured something in his brain. And
everybody did.
Die.
Dana White did. Like, that was scary, man.
And again, to Fiji's point here, that's exactly what I'm saying. How do you expect somebody to beat Barboza in a kickboxing fight?
Gige is going to be the guy to do it.
Okay. You know what I hate about this is you're usually right about this type of stuff, and I'm pissed about it because you're wrong this time, Jason.
I might be, and you can wear the genie hat on Monday if I am.
Yeah, bring it.
Here's
bring
what
it to the Maverick Center. So I'm bringing it to Monday.
Yes, on the Maverick Center. Hey,
I'll wear it while I'm
Edson, I didn't like the way he looked at the weigh-ins, and maybe I'm reading into it too much, but I didn't like the way that he looked at the face-offs. He is peeled.
You know what?
Peeled.
I don't like the way that you look right now. I'm gonna smack your.
You don't like my contender hat?
No, I do like your contender hat. Look at all this cool contender swag we got up here. Look.
Hey, I tried on my extra large underwear.
How'd that work out for you?
We'll make them work.
Maybe you and Cherie could fit in there.
We probably could.
There you go.
We probably could.
Your 4'11" wife. Love you, Cherie.
So, see, even the Bongler said the same thing. He thought he looked drained. See, I wasn't the only one. And
you know
hey, he's a fighter.
Hey, Bongler, all the nice stuff I said about you.
He's
experienced. Hasbulla, I would say.
He is experienced, so maybe he rehydrates and he's fine tomorrow night. He's probably going to come in at 160 and be huge, but I just like Gige on this, man. I like his confidence. I like it. Maybe I'm dead wrong and he sleeps Gige too.
Confidence could be a good thing in MMA, but it can also be your downfall.
I love everybody interacting. Thank you guys.
Yeah, this has been good. So I have one more good question for you. It doesn't directly relate to this card, but kind of because of the coaches of the Ultimate Fighter.
Okay.
Who do you think wins that fight?
Dude, I honestly keep going back and forth because Ortega looked phenomenal his last fight. I'm leaning T-City, but I don't know, man. I don't have to make a pick till next week, right? Isn't the fights?
Yeah, you got.
I got a week, right?
What
do you think? You're all in on T-City.
I think you know what? This is the craziest, and I feel so bad because I like Andre Verlovsky. And if anybody has TikTok, go follow him. He has like one of the best TikToks. He just talks about cooking food all the time, and it's really good. And he shares his recipes, and it's great. But I think he's the third best featherweight in the UFC. I still have Max 1. I don't even care. Bongler, you're killing me.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it, Bongler. I don't hate it. I don't hate that. Here's the thing. Nobody will ever let Volkanovski just be the champion. Nobody will ever let Volkanovski just be the champion because everybody's like, well, Max beat him. They did a poll, 84% of fans felt like that Max won that. Oh, 100%. I mean, everybody still thinks Max is the champ.
But even we brought up before, AJ McKee, right? He wins and he's like, yeah, I want the super fight against Max Holloway. Doesn't even address the champ.
Doesn't even address the champ. The disrespect for Volkanovski.
That's actually the one thing because when you get to the mountaintop, it's hard to stay on the mountaintop because the target's on you and now everybody's trying to get to you. It's like everybody's like he's the champ over here, but everybody's still focused over here at Max Holloway.
See, Fiji says Barboza's too strong. I think he's quick. But I will disagree with that. He's fought countless Giga. I don't think he's fought somebody with the experience that Giga has on his feet.
That I would have to agree with you.
I'll disagree with you on that one, Fiji. We're going to find out tomorrow night. I'll bet you a white monster, Fiji.
Hey, folks, whatever. You guys are doing shots. I've heard Fiji scary when he's had a little bit of liquid courage in him.
Whoa. Did the Ultimate Fighter do Ortega kind of dirty? They made him. They kind of portrayed him in kind of a bad light, in my opinion.
I don't think he cares. That's
I
actually one
think
thing I
he-
really like about Brian Ortega is
Well, it looks
see,
like he's got a new
I
girlfriend too. Maybe him and Tracy are maybe Tracy's messing up his camp.
this mojo.
I mean-
I do. Hey, hey, if he starts dating one of the Kardashians, I'm all the way out on T City.
I'm out.
But
And he might. Who do you got tonight in the PFL finale with that Brandon Lolane? I don't think it's against Movled Kabulov.
enough said. Abulov ends in a Vav.
Brendan had a great him and Tyler Diamond's fight was freaking phenomenal, man. That should have been Tyler Diamond in there. Just saying, Tyler, love you, dog.
No, you see, you gotta understand. T City he operates on that Cali time, dude. He just kind of rolls in when he feels like it, rolls out when he feels like it. He's just
I did like all the pranks. I did like all the pranks they were doing. That was fun.
dude. The Craig Jones with the COVID swabs. That's funny. I don't care who you are.
Yeah. Well,
The bungler. I don't know who this bungler guy is, but I like it.
I don't know. Thanks for chiming in, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Watch.
it.
It's probably like your mom or something. Your grandma. No.
Schultz and were they supposed to fight on that card? I don't think they were. Maybe somebody got sick. I didn't know they were supposed to fight on that card.
I don't know.
Or that might be the next card. I think you're right. I think that might be the next card.
DraftKings.
What else? DraftKings. Let's hear your lineup. Let me get my pin out.
You know, I could just screenshot this and send it to you too.
Oh, the Bonga trains at freaking Sierra. Oh, come on, dude.
He's
How
one
do I
of your
not know
boys.
him? He's one of my boys. I don't train that. Well,
You're a bad teammate.
I'm at Phoenix. Well, I don't go to. The only time I go to Sierra is Wednesdays when we do yoga. That's the only time we go there to do athlete yoga on Wednesdays. Bongler, if you go to Hector's class, you'll see me in the mornings.
All right.
Who's the DraftKings?
We all know you got to go. So this was a hard one. This was a
Really
hard one, but I think
we talked about it for about 5 minutes before we went live. Like,
because you have to find underdogs.
Yeah.
I found my two underdogs and it made it so the rest of the card feels really good. I feel like.
Okay, let's get it.
One is Sam Alvey.
Sam Alvey. Okay.
My other underdog is Urbina.
Urbina, I don't hate it.
And the more I think about it, the more that I like it. If he can go the distance with Sean Brady, even if he doesn't get the W, I think it at least goes the distance. And I think the safest bet on that one is the over or round 3 starts, depending on how your book does it.
Yes, Fiji.
Yep. Then I am going Dustin Jacoby.
Jacoby, I like
I will
that.
take the legit 205er over the wannabe 205er.
I like that all day long.
D Chirico, because Razak Al Hassan is butt to me.
Watch him come out and sleep Alessio.
I'll be pissed if that happens because he looked like dog doo-doo and like he should be cut. You know what? I'm surprised the UFC didn't cut him after his last performance.
That was horrible.
He would have deserved it. He would have deserved it. We both love Kevin Lee. I can't believe we're getting Kevin Lee for only $8,500 in this.
I can't believe he's minus 145.
He should be like a $9,000, $9,200 guy on. I think
I'm
on
all
this
in.
because he could dictate this fight happening on the ground.
I'm putting the mortgage up. All in on Kevin Lee. Okay, I'm not putting the mortgage up.
Max bet 10 unit play.
We're not
10 unit play.
We're not doing that.
Then Jason does $1 a unit, so $10.
$10.
Yeah. And then last but not least, and you can change this one out for whatever you'd like, but I'm going Edson Barboza, sir.
What's Barboza? What's his money?
Or you could go Emerson. He's only 8,200, but Giga's 8,000.
So it's pretty close. Odds wise, it's a coin flip.
It's a coin flip, and it's going to be a good fight. I'm just saying, if it's in a close fight, give me the guy that's been in the wars and shown it to me at a high level. If Gigi would have done that to Cub 5 years ago, now we're talking a different story. But beating up the guy that's over the hill, he did what he was supposed to do in his last fight. Right?
No, he did. You're right.
Like they gave him an aged Cub, but he did it.
But Cub's been looking good though. Cub was looking good before that. Didn't he just?
He beat yeah.
Wasn't it Daniel Rodriguez or did Rodriguez beat him?
No,
he slept Daniel Rodriguez, didn't he?
No, they're different weight classes, dog.
Oh yeah, who am I thinking of then? Cub Swanson beat Daniel Pineda. Daniel Rodriguez, Pineda. They look the same. They looked alike.
You racist. And it comes full circle. Blackface Michael Jackson. All Mexicans look alike. Daniel Pineda, Daniel Rodriguez.
We're getting canceled.
All the same.
We're getting canceled.
Get
That's
out
it.
of here. This is so good.
Is that it?
Man, I don't want it to be it. This one's been fun for me.
Hey, next week though, we'll be in the office. Got the video camera coming today.
The office has turned out nice. We got let's see, we got the Lions,
baby.
The Lions Wall Shrine over there with the guest couch. Hey, just so everybody knows, we are Lions fans. And if anybody says it, we will close that door and Jason and I will personally whoop you unless your name's Fiji. Yeah, but yeah, we're proud of our Lions.
It's gonna be
one
awesome.
pride, baby.
One pride, baby.
I did a fantasy football draft last night, and you know what I realized?
What? No Lions?
I don't pick. No, that's not true. I did pick up a Lion. They have a good wide receiver, Tyrell Williams.
You got to see Fiji tonight.
I'm gonna leg kick and move. Thank you, Bongler. No, you know what I realized is I don't pay that much attention to the NFL anymore because also I was like, wait a second, what? This guy's on this team? Like, when did that happen? You know, I'm like, and football used to just be, oh gosh, Jeff. Bang! Yeah, your quarterback's a wiener. He's really good, but he's a wiener. Yeah, I just don't care as much anymore. And I think there is something to be said for the sport and the organization. Again, I am going to give Dana White props for just letting everybody do their own political thing and not trying to force anything on anybody.
I love it.
Love it. You know what I love? He's like, you want to wear a mask? Great. You don't want to wear a mask? Great. I hope you like McRibs, Zack.
I do like the McRibs.
Oh, and you know what else I liked is people, you could say whatever you want about him, but guess what? He let T Wood get up at a press conference and replied Black Lives Matter to every single question.
Didn't say one thing.
Nope. He
lets everybody. Let's Kobe do his rants.
Yeah. Let's Kobe do his stuff. And, he just lets everybody be themselves. And this whole NFL, mandating one narrative, or the NBA, only letting you be one way and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it hurts their ratings. I just saw somebody, oh no, Jeff, there's no roller coaster here. I just hate you all the time. You like Henry Cejudo. I'm just kidding, man.
Shit.
No, he knows I like him. He knows I just think he has horrible takes. Oh, Jake Paul versus T Wood. Should we talk about Jake Paul versus T Wood?
Jake Paul.
T Wood. What are we betting? Me and you.
I don't know. You. We have to bet something in the studio for next week because we're gonna be in studio.
I'll tell you what.
What? We have time to think about it.
I don't like. Do we?
Yeah, we have till Sunday. The fight's not till Sunday.
No, I'm just saying I wanted to make an on bet. I wanted to make a bet.
We could do it on TikTok. We can do it on TikTok.
Okay. I mean, I'm just saying,
since our boss says we have to do more TikTok videos.
Yeah.
Sajin.
He runs everything here. I was gonna say something outrageous, but it doesn't matter. You don't have hair and you look good.
Loser does a shoey. Loser does
bet.
a shoey.
Bet.
Shoeys. Okay. All right.
With monsters.
Monsters.
Shoey with monsters. Oh, right. That's gonna taste nasty.
Oh. Yeah. I want him to too. I want T Wood to do this, but I just don't think T Wood's the guy with Fiji's shoe.
No, we're both out on that, dog. That's a hard pass. All right, dude. Yeah, we'll do a shoe. That's a good one. Shoey with a monster. That's a good one.
Oh, hey, if Jake Paul wins, Zack has to wear a Jake Paul shirt for the podcast. That's a good one too.
Oh, that hurts. That would hurt my
soul. What would I have to do? Do I have to get a T Wood shirt, or do I have to listen to his freaking rap song? That's death right there.
You ready?
That is death.
You get locked in the podcast studio for an hour with I'm gonna beat your ass playing on repeat for an hour.
Just 3 minutes. Just make it 3 minutes. It'll feel
what
like
hour? What hour? His hit single.
I don't like these bets that we come up with.
I was going to do something fun. do something like because I have been clean shaven exactly 2 times my entire adult life. And I'm
Oh,
like,
you were going to
maybe
shave.
I was gonna say maybe if I lose, I'm gonna. But I'm like, I literally don't know what I could do. And
And I love.
it's so bad. I literally don't know what I could get you to do that you would hate as much as I would hate being clean shaven.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you got time to think about it.
Ooh, do
What?
you have a Isaiah Thomas jersey?
I don't have a jersey. No, but I have. Look at that bad boy. How about that?
I don't want that anywhere near my podcast studio. But no, what I was going to say was, is I have a John Stockton jersey that you'd have to wear and announce that he's the greatest point guard of all time.
Oh, Hillary says you won't shave. Maybe that is it. Maybe you do have to shave.
Well, what would you do? What would when T Wood sleeps Jake Paul? What would you have to do that would you would equally hate?
I don't know. We're gonna have to let me ponder that one.
Okay.
Let's ponder it.
I think that Tyron Woodley is still an elite athlete. He still carries dynamite in his hands. He can't beat elite level MMA guys anymore. But you got to remember, he rocked Vicente Luque. He still has a little bit left in the tank. And if I'm
you got to wear the jersey of the Colin Kaepernick jersey. Oh, dude, that's not fair for anybody to have to do that.
I
wouldn't make.
I want to embarrass him. I don't want to like kill all credibility for the rest of his life. Like we don't hate each other. I would never make Jason do that.
Yeah, that's. I wouldn't even wish that on my worst enemy.
I wouldn't even wish that on Jeff Morales. Wait a second. Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Oh, Jeff.
Guess what you're wearing?
My man.
I'm just kidding, Jeff. Hey, Jeff, I want to do facts. That's big facts.
That was dude, how long ago was that? It was 5 years ago. T Wood hasn't done nothing in how many years? 2, 3 years? 5 years?
His best moment was he kind of wobbled Vicente Luque.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of wobbled him. I thought this is too fun. What if we need to make a bet with Jeff if he's still listening, Morales. If we need to make a bet and he has to wear like a Lions jersey to a Steel Fist or something.
Yeah.
I have a
Barry Sanders jersey.
I have a Matt Stafford jersey. I have a Megatron jersey. I have a Barry Sanders jers's. I got all one. I have an Ndamukong Suh jersey. If you're feeling like you want to step on somebody's hand or something.
Here's the bet. What if I have to rap T Wood's song on the mic? I'll rap it.
We're trying to get viewers, not drive them away, Jason.
Oh man, that would. Oh man.
In and out of love, in and out of love.
I don't see it.
Overhand.
Get him. Fiji says get him by the stage. I'm not trying to get killed. I would get freaking killed. If you were a Jake Paul, there you go. You and Jeff made your bet. There it is.
Done. If Jake Paul beats T Wood, I will wear a Tyrone Woodley shirt.
Jeff and Zack have officially made their bet.
When T Wood sleeps Jake Paul, you are wearing a Lions jersey and we're taking pictures and tagging you relentlessly. So
you could probably get a Lions jersey pretty cheap right now.
Yeah, probably.
I hate to say it.
Or I think Damage Plan, we could come up with a t-shirt that says Henry Cejudo sucks.
Ooh, that's another one.
And Jeff can wear that. You know what, Jeff? That's the deal. I wear a Jake Paul shirt if he wins, provided by you. If T Wood wins, I will provide you with a Henry Cejudo sucks shirt, and you are going to wear that to a fight night, and we're going to take a picture together. I like that. That's a good deal. That's a good.
I like it.
That's a good bet.
I like it. I'm in.
Hey, coming soon to the Damage Plan MMA podcast. Since Henry Cejudo keeps calling himself the GOAT, we're going to make a t-shirt that says Henry Cejudo sucks goat nuts. How about that?
Hey, speaking of shirts, we got some dope shirts coming up for the next Steel Fist night. Wait till you guys see them. We got them mocked up already. They're ready to go. We just got to get them ordered. He wears a small. What's your size?
Large. Fiji's morning crap is bigger than Henry Cejudo. Legit.
Oh man. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up.
This went sideways.
Probably do some. It did. Yeah, we went all over the place on this one. That's all right. Hey, we'll make the TikTok for our bet before Sunday. We'll make a TikTok of what it's going to be. Okay. We'll make it interesting.
Okay.
I don't really want to bet on freaking Jake Paul though, but I will. But it's like,
that's like.
Do you really want to? I mean, like, it's like, do we really want to even bet on this fight?
Well, I do with Jeff now.
Crazy.
Oh, it's so good.
All right, we'll get out of here, guys. We will see you guys. For those of you guys going to the First Fighting Championship, we will see you guys tomorrow night. Other than that, Monday we'll be back. We will be back. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate everybody listening in. We out.